I built my career on that very script. Your borrower has a job, right? They have the income, they have credit of 633. Be much better if we can get them to 640. So we'll have to rescore. We'll take a look at that credit report. Okay, so let's look at a regular transaction. There's a down payment, there's the mortgage, which is an FHA loan, and then there's a closing cost. All right, so let's say $500,000. So here, their down payment would be $17,500. Their mortgage would be $486,500 plus MIP, right? Doesn't matter right now. And then what are the closing costs on 500 on lender paid? Probably equal to 15,000, right? I personally like CalHFA as the best down payment assistance program because we close those, right? So that's why I would want you to go to a 640. Now CalHFA on 640, you got to have below a 45% DTI, and you'll still get AUS on that. But you know, if you can't get that, jump that gap, then go ahead and use like the Chenoa programs, which is Jet Advantage, Plaza. And then the EPM one is cool because that one's a grant, and then they'll just hit them with a high rate, call it 7.25 or 7.875. But this money never has to be paid back. So this is the exception. But the way it's going to work is if they're going to do 100% financing, then what they're going to do is they're going to cover this on a second. Make sense? So this is a second loan. Now, why I like CalHFA is there's no payment until this is paid off. With the Chenoa programs, there's a payment. So it's this loan plus this loan on the monthly. So I never use this. I would either do this one or I would do the CalHFA. So how does this work, right? They're all borrower paid. So if we're going to charge 2 points to do this deal, now the closing cost went from 15,000 to 25,000, right? And let's just say your client has $1,000. That's an extreme. So they have $1,000. So then you need to get seller credits of 24,000. So in this scenario, CalHFA will cover the down payment, right? FHA is going to do the mortgage. And then if the closing costs are 25,000, and you have 24,000 in seller concessions, right? Now the buyer can get the house with $1,000. Make sense? FHA allows for 6% seller concessions. So that's 30K that you can get. If I was the buyer's agent, this is where I would start my negotiations, knowing that I got to end up here. Now, if you can get this, that's even better, right? Because now you're not worried at all about closing costs. CalHFA also has a third loan that you can do where they'll help get you an additional like 2%. So they'll get you an additional 2% of the loan amount, which would be like $9,500 if they can't get all the seller concessions, but the rate goes from 6.5 to like 7.8 or whatever. I mean, I'm probably exaggerating, but it jumps up like +1. Okay. That makes sense?
It does.
You get that? All right, explain it to me.
Okay, so buyer trying to get down payment assistance. So they got the job for income, their credit score. We need them to be at a 640 in order to qualify for the CalHFA. So I have to try and rescore it. So you got down payment, mortgages, FHA, closing costs. The down payment 3.5% is the 17.5. The mortgage, the loan amount will be the 486.5. The closing costs will be around 15,000. So DTI has to be below 45%. From there, they will cover the down payment, which is 17.5. They'll get the financing for the mortgage for FHA. So the buyer still has to come to closing with some stuff because borrower paid. Means that they have to cover the brokerage, the lender fees. The real estate agent will take that information. They'll obviously structure the deal to get seller concessions back at 6% and then negotiate from there. And then if there's still not enough to be covered, then we can look at a different option as far as getting more from the lender, just at a higher rate.
Sell it.
Sell it. Okay. This down payment assistance program is going to be able to help you get into the door for your first house. And how it's going to work is you might have to take a slightly higher rate to be able to get in at essentially zero money down, but you'll be able to refinance it and call a house a home.
So what's the priority on your list? Well, I only have $1,000. You and I can both agree that I'm doing something unique for you.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to make it my objective to get you a house with $1,000.
So the 1,000, yeah.
Everything else you're going to have to agree to. The terms aren't going to be pretty,
Yep.
but I'm going to make this happen for you. Notice how I never addressed the rate. But I said the terms aren't going to be pretty.
Yep.
That gives me an open-ended to the higher closing costs, everything. Just go, okay. So like you qualify. And what I need the most is the realtor to negotiate 24,000, 30,000 in seller concessions. And then what happens when the client calls you back and goes, Joey, why the fuck is my rate 6.5 when the going FHA rate is 6.1? So you flip it. I told you the terms were going to be pretty. We're at 6.5. I had one objective: get your closing costs down with down payment to $1,000. And that's what we did, right? Everything else, we have to take what's given to us because we don't have the options to shop. You're talking about shopping with 100 different lenders down to 2. We're going to take what they give us. So now sell it. So you're working on need-based selling. What's your need?
To get into a home with $1,000.
Right. That's number 1 on our list. Get into a house with $1,000.
Yep.
At the end of the day, there's nothing else that they can negotiate. So when I'm talking to the customer and I go, how much do you have? I'd have 10,000. The only thing I can talk about now is DPA.
Down payment assistance. Yep.
Now we're also dealing with a 633 FICO. Now the only thing I have is one fuck.
Yeah.
I don't need to address the rate.
Yeah, because they're just up there.
Anyway,
Yeah.
my only objective is I'm gonna get you a house with $1,000.
Okay.
Now if they have a 800 FICO plus 200K plus,
Then we got options. Then we can be like, hey, now the goal is to find the lender that's going to give you the best rate.
yeah, what's your objective? I want the best rate. No problem. Every lender wants to let you borrow money.
Yeah.
This, I want to. It's no different than when they say I want a payment of $3,500. And then what's my ongoing joke?
Everybody wants a payment of $3,500.
So do I. But where? California?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. In California, or you shopping in Arizona? And then they go, oh, yeah, I'm shopping where? In LA. Okay. Yeah, no. In San Diego. No. Are you looking in Riverside?
Maybe.
All right, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Well, what's 3,500? Well, listen, 3,500 is not realistic, but 3,800 is the equivalent on an FHA loan of a $500,000 house. Is that feasible for you? Because that's realistic,
Yeah.
but this is not.
Okay.
Right. Now, if she goes, I have $1,000 and I want a rate of 5.5%,
That's not realistic.
that's not realistic.
Yeah.
Right. So your only objective, right, is need-based selling. I have $1,000.
Okay.
Want versus need. When you have a client in this bucket and they need to have something, then that's your only thing you're chasing.
Yep.
So when you're meeting with an agent and they're going, do you have down payment assistance? They memorize this.
Okay.
Do you have down payment assistance? You go, yeah, let me show you how it works. Always use this example. 500,000. You draw the grid. You draw the down payment, the mortgage, the closing cost. 17,500. How much is the down payment on 500,000?
17,500.
What's a loan amount?
486,500.
Correct. Memorize this shit. What's the closing cost?
15,000.
We're going to charge 2%, so now what's the closing cost?
25,000.
If the client only has $5,000,
They need 20,000 in seller concessions.
correct. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you sell it. This is how you teach it. And you use this when you're meeting with realtors and they're all learn down payment assistance.
Okay.
All right.
Got it.